What's going on? It's your boy Rob James coming to you for another video. So I'm kind of behind in terms of content for Modern Warfare, but the thing is, I'm good with that. I'm probably not going to achieve my goal of hitting 100 subs by the end of the month, which would be later on this week, but it is what it is. There's always room for growth. I really wanted to take my time with this, all right? So the release of Modern Warfare, we all know, was last week, and the game was kind of frustrating for me. Opening weekend was a little frustrating for me. It got frustrating to the point where I thought that I was just going to shut it down completely and just do Black Ops 4 Year 2 and then pray on my subscriber growth from there. But needless to say, I stuck with it. All right. I'm not going to get into what I don't like about the game because there's a couple of things that I'm really not particularly fond of. I'm not going to discuss that because if whatever it is I don't like about the game, I'm pretty sure that it's going to be the same things that you guys don't like about the game because it's all been discussed on Reddit, on Twitter, you know, wherever social media is happening. But that's okay. Now, keep in mind, I'm not a beast at the game. I let that be known from the jump. I'm not a god at this game. I'm not somebody that's just going to go out there and get nuclears or get tactical nukes every single time I cut the game on. That's not what I'm here for. I started my channel because I wanted to help people just get better to the point to where they can actually just enjoy the game. You know, where they will be able to take the bad along with the good. All right. So if you are brand new to this channel, feel free to hit that subscribe button. And if you find yourself coming back to this channel, go ahead and turn on all post notifications. I will highly suggest it as well as appreciate it because this is part one of a 3-part series that I have for you to get better at Modern Warfare. I have some things I would like to go over. So let me go ahead and stop babbling. We're going to go ahead and get into it. It's your boy Rob James. Peace. So I came up with so many things that you can do to get better with this game, and I came up with so many that I didn't want to put them all in one video because nobody has that kind of time. So I don't want to drag out a long ass video here, so I'm just going to break them down little by little, hence the 3-part series. Now I do have 5 things that I wanted to talk about in this video, so without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and start off with flirting with the game settings. Now if you look here on your screen, keep in mind at the end of the day, this is all personal preference. You can do this however you want to, but this is what I roll with. So this is official for me. This is how I will be playing the game throughout its life cycle. You're more than welcome to give this a try and see if it works for you. Now for the button layout, I do stick and move. I started playing on stick and move around the time that Black Ops 4 came out, because in Black Ops 4 I did notice that the slide, jump, and shoot maneuver was a very popular maneuver. So I wanted to go ahead and give that a try, and usually I played on a tactical layout, but the tactical layout, it didn't do a whole lot for me because it involved me taking my hands off of the right thumbstick more often than not. I wanted to be able to jump with it because jump shotting was something that I learned how to perfect when Black Ops 4 came out, and I figured it was going to carry over in this one. Now I don't jump shot as much, but whenever I do, it's still a highly effective maneuver. For the stick layout, I just leave it by default, of course. Invert look, I highly advise you not to do that. Horizontal and vertical stick sensitivity. Now my sensitivity settings, they change every single year. In Black Ops 4, I ran on a 7.7. This year, I'm running on a 5.5 because the game plays so much slower than Black Ops 4 that I don't need to have this crazy high sensitivity to be able to snap onto my target. For the ADS sensitivity, the low zoom. Now in Black Ops 4, I have mine at a 0.75. I would play either on 0.75 or I would play on a 1. I was always going back and forth. It was never really official. It just depended on how my performance was going at the time. So for this one, it's a little more detailed. On this one, I like to play it on 0.90. You know, I don't want it too slow, but I don't want it too fast. This one's perfect, especially for the tactical movement in this game, because while I'm not a camper, I do like to move from spot to spot. And moving from spot to spot, I'm sure that I'm going to have plenty of targets to engage when I do try to get to my desired locations. And so 0.90, it satisfies me in terms of being able to snap onto my target. For ADS sensitivity high zoom, I play on 1.50. For 1.50, you know, this is mostly for your sniper rifles. I'm not really a sniper at Call of Duty because I've never really been all that good at it. Now, I don't know if this is just the game of Modern Warfare itself, but I did find myself having a higher success rate with the sniper rifles in this game. Like I said, it may be due to the slower paced gameplay, it may be due to the more tactical movement that the game promotes, but 150, this is my desired sensitivity with the sniper rifle. You guys are more than welcome to give that a try. You know, if you guys have any other suggestions that you think I should try out, let me know down in the comment section. For aim response, I play on linear. I cannot explain the aim response curve types you know, I've got to get more information on that, but I did find that linear works best for me. I actually found this on another YouTube video. Do not be shocked. Yes, some of us YouTubers, we do watch other videos, you know, for encouragement purposes, seeing if it works for us, and then we relay this information to you guys. If there's some things that, you know, that we wanted to change on our own, then we do so. But linear, it was a suggestion that I saw from another video. I tried it, it works for me. Your controller vibration, you will want to leave that disabled, all right? You've been told this time and time again. Now, I don't know how long these Call of Duty YouTubers have been around because I'm still fairly new to the game myself, but the vibration, whether you want to believe it or not, it will throw your aim off whenever you are engaging with the target. You will never realize how distracting it really is. If you're playing with the controller vibration on, turn it off, and I guarantee you, this much I do guarantee, I guarantee you that you will see an instant change in your gameplay. For the aim assist, I just leave it standard. Precision, I can't explain these. Now for the precision aim assist, you have to be one of the more accurate players to be able to work with this one. And I think there's a lot of guys that are using precision anyway because they are just that good at aiming. Like I said, I'm a slightly above average player at Call of Duty. Standard, it works for me. I'm just going to leave it as is. For the focusing, I would definitely leave that alone because for focusing, it is the strongest aim assist in the game, and believe it or not, you will miss more of your shots than not because it is so strong. Let me see, what else do we have here? Oh, one more thing, yeah. And so for me, I'm new to PS4. Now, I originally played on Xbox. I switched over to PS4 because I wanted to become a YouTuber. So I saw that back in the day, I guess it was on PS3. If you play Call of Duty back then, a lot of people were playing with the L1 R1 in terms of aim and shoot. I think that was the default setting, correct me if I'm wrong. But you have the option of either playing with the triggers or playing with L1 R1. I like to play with L1 and R1. I mean, I have a SCUF controller, but my SCUF is not working. It's kind of dragging at the moment, so I'm playing with the regular controller. But L1 and R1, it pretty much does the same thing. It pretty much serves as the trigger stop effect. You know, it feels like you can get your shots off a whole lot quicker. It felt awkward at first, but you know, you play a lot more games, you get used to it. So if you haven't played on L1 R1, I would highly advise giving that a shot. I mean, you're not wrong with playing with L2 R2 to aim and shoot, but I would highly advise L1 and R1. It's gonna feel awkward at first, but just stick with it. You know, after a while, it just comes naturally. Next up, you are going to want to play against bots to warm up against live competition. And on top of that, you'll also want to get familiarization with the maps. Now, the maps in this game, they resemble Battlefield maps. They may even be slightly bigger than some of the Battlefield maps. I haven't played Battlefield in God knows how long, so I couldn't tell you for sure. And I know this is an old tip. Almost every other time you watch a tips and tricks video or videos on how to get better at Call of Duty, you always see someone saying practice against bots. Well, if you haven't done it in the past, I know that's old cliched advice, but if you haven't done it then, this will be the perfect time to give it a try now. I think that is the most relevant piece of information that you can get, especially in this year's iteration of Call of Duty, where attention to detail is stressed like no other. Next up, and this will be the very first thing that you want to keep in mind upon jumping into a multiplayer match, you will want to pay attention to the compass. If you look on your screen right now, if you look up above, my compass is just going bonkers with enemies showing up. You know what I'm saying? The compass, we're all a little bit frustrated with the lack of a traditional mini-map. I'm one of those people, but the compass is the closest thing we're going to get to that old school information until Infinity Ward decides to fix that down the road, which I have no doubt in my mind they might do it because enough of us have complained about it on Twitter. When enemies fire, things like that, they are going to show up on that compass. You know, the bigger the dots get on that compass, that's how much closer the enemy is. So that's valuable information that you will need. You know, the game seems confusing at first because you may not be aware of where your enemies may be at, but if you look at your compass, keep in mind of those dots, keep in mind of the direction that they may be in. That information is the most underrated piece of information that you can receive in this game. They will go a long ways towards helping you get better at the game, helping you gain a better understanding of enemy positioning, and ultimately it will just come natural to you if you mess around with it long enough. Next up, and this will probably be a common sense tip here, but you are going to want to avoid the open areas. Now, I say that it's common sense, but I can't tell you how many lobbies I've jumped into where people are carelessly running the middle of the map. This game caters to camping like no others, so as much as we complain about it, if we're still playing this game, then we have no choice but to adapt and overcome. Stay away from those open areas. Ride the edges of the map. That's information that you've been given over the past few years or so. You know, when people put out tips on how to, you know, get better at Call of Duty, one of those tips are usually just navigate the edges of the map. Well, in this game, that information, that just rings truer than ever before, because it's now proven that if you run out into the middle of the map, somebody is sitting back there, they're gonna be back there waiting to pick your head off. And if you think I'm lying, just keep doing it. That's probably why you're dying right now. I'm still guilty of it, so I have to practice what I preach. That's something I need to learn how to get better at. Just stay away from the middle of the map. Last but not least, you are going to want to take advantage of the map design in these games. I would classify this as another common sense tip, and the reason why I would classify it as common sense is because look at how you're dying now. 9 times out of 10, if you're getting killed, it's likely not by someone in the open. It's either by somebody head glitching or somebody camping. Those guys are taking advantage of the game's map design. There is so much within these maps. You know, there's so much opportunity for cover. Take advantage of that stuff. Make sure that you have some kind of concealment every which way you move, so that way when you engage to these gunfights, you have some type of cover to where you're not dying as quickly. We all know that the game has a very high time to kill, so if you're just standing out there in the open and somebody's got the drop on you, then you're more than likely not going to be able to engage with them right back. You see everybody else doing it. We played this game long enough. We've had a whole full weekend to kind of grind it out and enjoy it. You've seen some other people's habits. You see them doing the same exact thing. You're dying by head glitches. You're dying by campers. That's because they are taking advantage of whatever's in front of them. We've got to be more adept at doing things like that. This is not the Twitch shooter of the past. The jump, slide, shoot technique, all that stuff, running around like headless chickens. Until further notice, those days are over. We have got to get into the habit of practicing tactical movement. Start getting in the habit of doing that. Make sure it becomes muscle memory. Do it repetitiously. And then once again, that will go a long ways towards ensuring a longer survival rate, and ultimately you as the player getting better at the game of Modern Warfare. And I figured I will go on and add a bonus tip here. Once again, this is something that I myself am guilty of, and the reason why I want to put this out as a bonus tip because it's something that I'm going to cover in a future video of this 3-part series. But stay away from the site that you were previously killed. Back in the past, we were all a little bit risky. We would go ahead and we would make that happen. But like I said, the high time to kill and then the campy nature of this game, you will want to stay away from the site that you previously got killed. Give yourself some time to regroup and then take another route. Because if you try to go back to the site where you were previously killed, with as much camping that's going on in this game, if you go back to the previous site that you were killed at, more than likely the person that killed you in that spot, they are back there waiting for you. It happens to us. That is a mental thing. Now, I'm not going to go too deep into that because like I said, I'm going to cover the mental aspect of the game in another video. But our pride gets into the way. We want to go back. We want to kill that guy that's sitting there camping because we know for sure that he is just the easiest person in the world to kill. We know we can catch him. Well, like I said, the camping nature of the game along with the game's map design is a little bit tougher to kill campers than it has been before. So stay away from the game. Stay away from your previous death site. I promise you, you will more than likely catch them slipping elsewhere. But just keep that in the back of your mind. Do not get frustrated. Do not get too much pride because that's going to come back. It's going to bite you in the ass. So yeah, that's going to just about do it for this first iteration of how to get better at Modern Warfare. Like I said, I'm giving you guys this information, but if you're watching the gameplay, there's definitely some things that I could work on. But like I said, it was just opening weekend, so I plan on polishing this up as I go along, grinding out this game, coming up with some more information that I would love to share with you guys. Once again, if you appreciated the video, if you enjoyed it, feel free to drop a like on this video. And once again, if you're brand new to the channel, feel free to hit subscribe and turn on all post notifications if you're interested in coming back to see the remaining 2 parts that I have to this series. I'm going to shut it down right here. I'm going to go ahead and get back to work, grind this game out some more. This is your boy Rob James. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.